Well, he's Roger Federer. When a guy drops shots you return, that's like, you might as well throw a pie in the guy's face while you're at it.
That wasn't the only pie in the face that Roger Federer gave out today. That's right, of course we're talking about the UniQlo deal. Roger Federer gave everyone, including myself, who was, I admit, way wrong on this, a big pie in the face today when he walked out on center court at Wimbledon wearing the all UniQlo. Of course, he had the Nike shoes still. Welcome to Coffee Break Tennis. My co-host, Mr. Goat, the talking tennis cat who loves Roger Federer, is not happy with Nike no longer being the official clothing sponsor of Roger Federer. He has exited the show in protest. I, on the other hand, I am thrilled to be a UniBRO. As soon as my UniBRO clothing gets here, I'll be sure to wear it as much as possible. Comment from Obaid Khan. Federer is with UniQlo. How can you be so wrong and so confident about your wrong claim that he is with Nike? Look, we all got pied in the face, as John McEnroe so elegantly put it today in the commentary booth. We all got pied in the face by this. And you know what? This is totally a saber move, right? Only the player who would invent something like the saber, the sneak attack by Roger. Put a little clip of that in there for people who don't know. Only that guy could literally be practicing. Remember, Roger was at the practice courts in Wimbledon wearing his Nike gear. Total sneak attack by Roger, surprise for all of us. But hey, I support the guy. But I know some of you out there are like Mr. Goat, very torn on this, not happy. Some of you, I've even heard people throw around the words, he's destroying his legacy. Another thing I've heard is UniQlo can't compete with that Nike money. But apparently they can. Let's do a quick little Google search on the Nike money. So this Forbes.com article from 2013 said collectively the 10 sponsors pay Roger about $45 million a year. The 10-year Nike contract, biggest in history of the sport, worth more than $10 million a year. So Federer's 2008 deal with Nike that ran out earlier this year, I believe it was March when it ran out, was a huge deal for a tennis player. But now Roger has topped it because according to the Wall Street Journal, we can trust that, right? A lot of people say different numbers. We can trust what the Wall Street Journal said. Roger Federer leaves Nike and snags $300 million deal. So if Nike was giving Federer $10 million a year, and who knows what they are offering this time around? We don't know what Roger was offered, but we're willing to bet it was a lot less than $30 million a year and over $30 million a year, guaranteed for 10 years. I know Roger's already made a lot of money in his career, but hey, he's got a big old family, and you can't turn down a deal like that. As for my claim, a couple videos ago, I said tennis players are too superstitious to go change something that big right before their biggest tournament. And I still think that is a thing to think about. But when you're looking at $300 million, maybe we can get over silly superstitions. Another interesting thing to come out of this whole UniQlo deal is a lot of people think this signals Japanese Olympics 2020 is going to be Roger's retirement. That's it. He's going to make it to one more Olympics, and then he's done. Here was a tweet from my friend in Greece, Lita Samperi. Very fitting with the 2020 Olympics location. But she's not the only one thinking this. Check out what we saw in The Telegraph. Is Roger Federer preparing to retire at the Tokyo Olympics in 2020? Now, this is pure speculation, but honestly, how much further could Roger go past 2020? And I've always thought that Roger would finish with a fitting 23 majors when he retires to match the 23 that Michael Jordan wore. Pete always says this. Peter Freeman from Crunch Time Coaching, who's our head sponsor here, he's always said to me that back in the day, because he's much older than me, very, very much older than me. I was very young back then. Back in the day, in the 90s, you would buy a ticket to see Michael Jordan play any team. Didn't matter how good or how bad, you just wanted to get in the building to see Michael Jordan. Roger Federer, very much like that. We could say Rafa's like that too, but I think you're guaranteed more of a show to see Roger versus anyone because he's always going to hit one of those miraculous shots that just defy all logic. And I think 2020, that would give Roger this Wimbledon. Let's just assume that he wins this Wimbledon. I know some people are going to say, Matt, that's the jinx. This is just pure speculative talk for the 2020 rumor. So the Olympics always happen after Wimbledon. I don't know why they wouldn't in 2020. So that would mean, let's say Roger gets to 21 here. He can play again in 2019. He can play one more Wimbledon in 2020. That gives him 2 more shots at Wimbledon. Gives him a real chance at getting to that magic 23 number that I've always thought would be so fitting for Roger to get that number so he could be linked with Michael Jordan as the greatest athletes ever. You could say, Matt, well, there's no guarantee that Roger's going to win 4 Wimbledons in a row if he won this year, 2019 and 2020. But hey, he's got all those other majors. He could win a U.S. Open. He could win a French Open, maybe, probably not. He could win another Australian Open. I think by 2020 Olympics, Roger's got a real shot to get to 23 majors. So I think it's a real possibility. Plus, obviously, UniQlo, one more point for me, why Roger would do it now. Because think about it, Roger might feel like, hey, this could be my last chance to win Wimbledon. So UniQlo, and we're going to look at some quotes from Roger on this whole deal in a second. But obviously, Roger felt like Nike wasn't too into it. And UniQlo, they went out on a limb for him saying, we're going to give you $300 million in a 10-year guaranteed contract. And in the contract, it says he doesn't even have to play. Roger can retire tomorrow. He still gets all that money. Another thing, Roger can make more money if he chooses by selling patches. Nike won't let you do that. You ever see how players don't wear Nike, have little patches? I remember Fernando Gonzalez, he had like an avocado company. What was it, Haas avocados on his shirts back in the day, 2007, 2008, somewhere around there. Roger can sell patches on his shirt if he wants to do that. Hey, maybe he can sell one to Nike. Give him a real good discount. So what could Roger do for UniQlo? It's been so nice to him. He could say, I don't know how many Wimbledons I'm going to win, but I know I got a great shot at winning it this year. It might be my last chance. Who knows? You never know what will happen. Why not do it wearing my brand new sponsor? It makes a lot of sense. They gave him a big vote of confidence, so he's going to give them something really big right back. And of course, even if Roger doesn't win another major, UniQlo is probably banking on Roger showing up at the 2020 Olympics in Japan wearing UniQlo. This is from George Belshaw, who tweeted just quotes from Roger directly from the press room. Roger on the RF symbol. The RF logo is with Nike at the moment, but it will come to me at some point, rather sooner than later. Nike can be nice, helpful in the process, and bringing it over to me. It will come with me at one point. They are my initials. I love the part Nike can be nice and helpful in this process. It's almost threatening from Roger. Another from Roger on the shoe deal, because notice Roger's still wearing those Nike shoes. Federer on his shoes. I don't have a shoe deal. I'm looking forward to see what shoes I will be wearing in the near future. For now, I will be wearing Nike. They've shown interest in having a shoe deal. Everything's open. It's very exciting. But for me, this is the big kicker. Oh, I was right. March. From Ubi Tennis, always tweeting great stuff, the Ubi Tennis account. By the way, you can follow me on the Twitters at CoffeeBreak10s, TENS, like the number 10. Follow me on INSTANTgram at CoffeeBreak10s, spelled just like we do here. Also, make sure you rip a one-handed backhand up the line and hit that subscribe button, or at least a thumbs up if you're enjoying the show. Ubi Tennis, Roger in French. What a guy. All these languages, jeez. The Nike contract expired in March. Then I started looking around for opportunities. I saw that the desire on the other side, Nike, wasn't 100%, so I headed other ways. And I kind of thought this wasn't true because I saw some ridiculous articles, I thought ridiculous, mostly in like the Express going around weeks ago saying, psychologist says Roger feels betrayed by Nike. And when I saw that stuff, I thought that's kind of crazy sounding, but Roger said it right there. So congratulations to UniQlo and Roger Federer. I can't wait to get my UniQlo gear. I am no longer a Fed head. I am now a UniBRO. I just have one tip for UniQlo. They might want to change their website here. Check it out. They got a slogan. UniQlo, made to move like you. Notice they got the official announcement there. Roger Federer, our newest global brand ambassador. But I just want to say, UniQlo, you might have to change it now from made to move like you to something more like made to move like the greatest, smoothest moving athlete in all of history, who moves, most likely, nothing like you. So let's get into some stats and talk about some important numbers. I know it's only the first round, but let's take a look-see at Mr. Goat's supercomputer over here. First serves in, Roger Federer, number 1. Who was number 2? The guy that he beat, Dusan Lajovic. Not as close as a match as we worried, but hey, even Roger said in the press conference, or was it the on-court interview right after, wherever it was, Roger said, hey, I had a hard time with this guy last year, very pleased to come through the way I did today. First serves in, Roger is ruling with 71% first serve in. That's a good number. I know this is very early, and look at Borna Coric. He had a 65% in. Sure didn't do anything for him. Should have got that 100% serves in again like he did in that third set in Halle. First serve points won. Roger Federer, second place, only 2% behind Sam Querrey. This was an excellent number from Roger today. 91% win on first serves. That's phenomenal. Look at Sam Querrey, 93. Look at Struve, 90%. Milos Raonic, 89. Marin Cilic, 89 as well. Isner with an 82. Karlovic, 80. Mueller, 80. We're just mainly looking at these big servers that some people think, well, these guys are dangerous for Roger. They're dangerous for everyone on grass. And I don't think they're as dangerous because Roger's serving numbers are like just as good, if not better. As you can see here, Roger's winning more on first serve. I know it's only one match again, but still, this is a good sign. He's winning more on first serve than all those big servers, minus Sam Querrey, only 2% behind him. On second serve, I would have liked to see Roger Federer a lot higher than this, but still, he's in the top 10, 7th place, 61% win on second serve. Again, if I see Roger in the 60s winning on second serve, I'm going to say he's winning the match, especially on grass. These stats can be kind of fluky too. Like sometimes you see a guy who's winning a stat and he lost in the first round. But Raonic is in there. Let's look at some of the other big servers. Raonic was 68, Isner was 67, Cilic was 63, and Federer right there was 61. Any other big servers? Mueller had 55. So there you go. Roger right in there with the biggest servers, not beating them in this case, but give Roger a chance. He got a lot. Remember, he's getting the most first serves in, so he was hitting less second serves than those players. Maybe if he had to hit more second serves like they did, maybe he would have won a higher percentage. And then one more stat, a group stat here that I'm happy to say Roger is not a part of. We hope he's never in this. Men's longest rally count leaders, and look at them. They're, the toughest matchups, obviously. Wawrinka and Dimitrov, Monfils and Gasquet. Oh, there's Coric and Medvedev. And then one player if you love him, if you want him to lose early, then you like this. One player you don't want to see on this is Marin Cilic. Marin Cilic, even though he did better than Djokovic, ironically, in the longer rallies, he doesn't need to be running around getting tired with his big body. So let's take an individual look at these guys. Milos Raonic looked better than Marin Cilic. So remember, they're going to play each other for a chance to go up against Roger. In my Racquet Bracket, I chose Cilic. But in the opening round, Milos Raonic is throwing down a bagel and a breadstick. Milos Raonic, a very low 54% serves in, wins on 89 first, wins on 68 second. That's pretty good. But look who he's playing. Liam Brody. What is this guy ranked? 173 in the world. Remember, Lajovic, was he top 50? He's like a top 50 player. Cilic gets an even better draw, a much shorter than him guy who is ranked 256 in the world, Yoshihito Nishioka. Marin Cilic, 59% first serve in, very low. 89% win on first serve, 63% win on second serve. Those numbers are pretty good, but of course Milos Raonic, a lot higher win on the second serve. Sam Querrey, another serve bot that people would worry about for Roger. You'd really worry for Rafa. By the way, what are these guys hitting in aces? Just want to throw that out there. Raonic with 18 aces, Cilic with 21 aces, Sam Querrey with 15 aces. Sam Querrey gets 58% first serves, and again, that's pretty low. If you're going to play Roger, you need a way higher number than that. Of course, they got plenty of time to work on that. Win on 93%, of course, that's first place, just a little ahead of Roger's win on 91% win on first serve. Win on second serve, kind of not too bad. If you're in the high 50s and you're doing well on your first serve, you can win a lot of matches, 57%. Obviously, he wins straight sets. Jordan Thompson, what's he ranked? 101 in the world. Isner, what does Isner get? 28 aces thrown down. That's a lot. 69% first serve in. That's pretty good. 82% win on first. 67% win on second. Great numbers from Isner. But who is it? Who is this guy? It's Yannick Maiden from Germany. I've never heard of the guy. He's ranked 134 in the world. So first round through, Roger and the serve bots, we look at their stats. What's the theme we see here? Roger has a tougher opponent than them. Roger does better on pretty much everything. Good signs. Let's look at Bjorn Coric. So many people were worried about him. He had some kind of a foot injury, it looks like, against Danny Medvedev. This is a tough opponent. Coric didn't have the greatest draw here. Coric gets 65% first serves in, wins a very low 41% on second, 70% win on first serve. Maybe if Coric could have got 100% of his first serves in like he did in that Hala third set, maybe he could have won this one. Oh, there we go. Bring up Dusan Lajovic. He's ranked 58, almost top 50 in the world. I'd say you'd much rather play the guys ranked 200-something, 100-something in the world than this guy, especially knowing, like I said, Roger said it too, had a hard time with this guy last year. And finally, last thing we're going to look at from the stats, Sloane Stephens was out. First round, this is the French Open finalist, who I thought Sloane Stephens could be really good. Now, she had to play Stanislav the Manislav Wawrinka's girlfriend, Donna Vekic. She's a good grass player. Sloane Stephens, very disappointing. 6-1, 6-3, first round loss. Real chance to get the #1 ranking here. Remember, she's defending U.S. Open champion. She's got finalist points. If she did well at Wimbledon, Sloane Stephens could have been #1. And the reason why I bring this up because there's a statistical anomaly here. Now, maybe it's because it's women's tennis. The serve works a little differently, as a lot of us know, in women's tennis, stats-wise. Donna Vekic gets 30% win on second. And you'd think, well, she's winning 87% on the first serve. So, maybe that's not a big deal because she was doing so well on the first serve. The only problem is she only gets 50%. Remember what happened when Roger got 50% of his first serves in that third set against Chorch at Halle? He got toasted. Donna Vekic, 50% first serves in. When she hits a second serve, she loses all of them, but she wins 6-1, 6-3. We look at Sloane Stephens' numbers, 64% first served in, much higher. Wins 47 on first, much lower. And a surprisingly much higher win on second serve, 42%. But it didn't matter for Sloane, and I'd say the main reason why, tons of unforced errors. So just want to show you an example of somebody getting 50% of their first serves in and losing 70% of their second serves and just absolutely destroying their opponent 6-1, 6-3. All right, that's about it for us. We got one last thing. We're going to look at 2 comments that I thought were very good. First, this is from Heike. Comments a lot. Thank you, Heike. Spain is out. Good sign. Now, there's one reason why I thought this was important. Yeah, sure, maybe. Maybe it's a good sign. We're talking about World Cup soccer here. Spain is out of the World Cup. How many hours ago? I wish it was 9 hours ago. How many hours ago did I see that? How many hours did it take for me to see this comment? I saw it 16 hours after the comment was made, Heike. This tells me, because I'm pretty superstitious, unlike Roger, obviously, Rafa Nadal, the Spaniard, will go down in the round of 16. If I was going to follow the superstition, I would definitely believe that, but I'm not because Roger told us today that superstition means nichts. And finally, this comment was awesome. I know we talked a lot about number 9, lucky number 9, and there was so many things going on, like I found out. A lot of you tweeted me, commented me, things about the lucky number 9, like for instance, Federer's twin daughters, they're about to have this month their 9th birthday. Wimbledon, the word itself, how many letters is in Wimbledon? 9 letters. Roger's age, 36, 3 plus 6. It goes on and on and on. But this might be more significant than the lucky number 9. This is from Kushik Saha. Matt, you've missed this comment and I posted previously on the Fidesima video, so I'm reposting it. Thank you so much for reposting it. I'm glad I didn't miss it the second time. Australian Open, Roger Federer ranked number 2, wins his 20th. Rotterdam, Roger Federer ranked number 2, wins the tournament, gets the number 1. Indian Wells, Roger Federer ranked number 1, all the way to the final, blows 3 match points, loses the Delpo, don't remind me. Miami, Roger Federer still ranked number 1. Well, we all know what happened there with Kokinakis. Stuttgart, Federer demoted to number 2 after yet another prolific clay court run by Rafa. Went there for some practice on grass, wins it comfortably, regains number 1. And of course, you see where we're going with this. Halle, Federer ranked number 1, loses the rhythm somehow, but limped his way to the final, only to lose to Chorch, loses number 1. Wimbledon, Roger Federer will start as number 2. Any guesses? And just think about how this whole Roger Federer renaissance started. I know number 2 is still a really high ranking, much higher than the 17 Roger was seeded as at the Australian Open 2017. But I'm telling you, you go in as number 1, going in as number 2, that's a big difference. Roger likes being a little bit of an underdog, and losing in Halle sure didn't hurt that underdog status. Thanks for watching Coffee Break Tennis. We will be back tomorrow and talk all about Rafa and some other guys too. See ya!